Okay, good morning to everyone. Today our group will talk about the freedom of speech and expression in Malaysia and its limitation. Next. Okay, firstly, freedom of speech is the basic period of a system based on law of a free society. The government's strategy makes a privacy legislation and important to examine the expression of a government. Although this is a great certificate to good governance, freedom of speech is necessary for the progress of civilization in all areas of the human beings. Freedom of speech is also a part of personal satisfaction. Benjamin Franklin rightly said that freedom of speech is the great bulwark of liberty. They prosper and die together, and it is the terror of children and oppression and a barrier against them. Next. Okay, freedom of expression is a fundamental human right, which is the basis of any free framework to work satisfactory. In Malaysia, freedom of speech is a constitutional right graded by Article 10 of the Federal Constitution and warn that this is right can be restricted in a proportional manner to protect security. Disclosure increment of high quality, which is usually foreseeable in global human rights in addition, freedom of speech is the foundation of a strong democracy. Freedom of speech, expression, and president is an important right. A person's freedom of expression can be described as one of man's most cherished freedom.
All right, guys, let me tell you about the factor behind the existing of this law. It happened when the British colonized Malaya, and at that time, the British colonial government introduced a judicial system and principle of law-based government in it, safeguarding British political, economic, and business interests. And through this, the establishment of several laws introduced by them to restrict freedom of expression in Malaya, which is Emergency Regulation 1948 to related any party who tried to challenge their position in Malaya by allowing detention with a trial. Second, printing press ordinance. Third, citizen ordination. After the independence, the federal constitution provides for the right to freedom and opinion for Malaysians based on Section 2 of Article 10.1 on freedom of speech, assembly, and association of the 1999 Federal Constitution. Article 10.1 mentions every citizen is free to speak and express opinion in Malaya. Second, all citizens have the right to assembly peacefully and are not allowed to bring weapons. Third, all citizens have the right to establish an association. There is another Article 10.4 which clearly states that in person and interest in the security of the Federation or any part of public interest under Clause 2A, Parliament can approve the act of prohibiting the act of questioning any matter, right, status, opposition, privately or severity that has been established or protected by the probability of Section 3 of Article 152, 153, and 182. That's all from me.
Okay, for my part, I will present about the importance of freedom to speech and expression in Malaysia and its limitation. First of my point is it can protect the safety of personal citizens based on the law, which means when they are talking about something that might be sensitive, but it's no offense the law. So when they mention this kind of thing, they were protected. My second point is when they are the law can protect the citizens or organizations' image, as this is because when certain like public person that speak something that are destroying their image or their reputations, they can use the law against to win the image of their companies. The third point is it can maintain the peace and harmony in our country, as is because our country have many different culture, religions, and races. So each of them is allowed to speak freely when they are presenting their cultures or their religions. My fourth point is next slide. Citizens can feel their voice have been heard by government. This is because when they speak something about their complaints or their announcement, they were heard by government and it will be take actions. My next point is reduce the crime rate in Malaysia, as because when the voice of the citizen can be heard, it means their suggestion can be heard by the Malaysian government, so they can take up further actions. My next point is about the academic freedoms, means all the teachers and lecturers in school, they are allowed to teach freely with their creativity ideas to pass their knowledge. So meaning that they have to mention something that are not offense or destroying the image of the education system. That's all from me.
Okay, so today I will present my point by the limitation freedom of speech and expression in Malaysia. So my first point is sensitive matters. Art 10 for provide the parliament may pass law prohibiting the question of the politically sensitive matter. First, in Malaysia, we know that the religion is a sensitive matter. Yeah. The second point is content of content of court. Any information that is published on the internet that might be constructed and as in interfering with the administration of justice can be held as guideline for contempt of court. So the third one is pre-restraint. Pre-restraints are made in the form of lesson and permit requirements for the executive. Pre-restraint and freedom of speech. It is not all that easy with the internet, except in very limited and controlled circumstances. The fourth point is privileges of parliament or any legislative assembly. In Malaysia, one's freedom of speech could be restricted if it were to involve the privilege of parliament or any state legislative assembly. Next. The fifth one is security of the federation or any past thereof. If someone, for example, for example, use the internet encouraging provocative discussion, the government or the authority would use or resort to national security laws like the Internal Security Act 1960 or even the Sedition Act 1948. The last one is restriction of friendly relation with other countries. There is no specific law to regulate free speech on this ground, but administrative guidelines to exist. This is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, in conclusion, the individuals who are not free to speak and are prevented from speaking are required to enjoy this right. They should be able to choose to communication without restriction. In this case, the state must consider to give equal rights to listen to everyone in public. In this way, the state must give this right to everyone, not just the citizens. This means that all residents and non-residents must have equal rights to express their ideas among the public in their life. Same freedom can be applied to conflict of interest of conflict under any environment. It usually occurs for far-reaching possibilities, which is definitely why they are not reasonable definition of freedom. Next. And these are our group reference. Next one. Okay, and that's all for our group. Thank you for listening.